Namaste students, I am Jevin Dr. Meenakshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Shalakya Tantra, Faculty of Ayurvedic Science, Jyoti Vidyapith University. Today the topic of discussion is physiology of hearing. How we are able to hear things. What is the function of our ear? It is the hearing and balance. So कैसे हम सुन सकते हैं वो हम डिस्कस करेंगे इसमें क्लास में. So the pinna directs the sound waves into the external auditory canal. Then these sound waves strike the eardrum and vibrate it back and forth. The central area of the eardrum, it is contacts the malleus, hence the causes its vibrations as well. Then the vibration passes from the malleus to the incus and then to the stapes bone in the middle ear. This is a picture of the outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear. So from the left side, you can see the sound waves that are entering into the from the pinna into the external auditory canal, and then they are striking to the at the tympanic membrane. Then through the malleus, the vibrations are going from the malleus to incus, incus to stapes. So that's how the conduction of sound is there. Okay, and then the stapes moves the membrane of the oval window. The vibration of the oval window owing to the smaller surface area is 20 times more vigorous than the vibration of the eardrum. The area of tympanic membrane relative to the oval window, there is a picture. Left side there is the tympanic membrane area, on the right side there is the area of stapes foot plate which is attached to the oval window. The total effective area of the tympanic membrane is 69 mm square and the area of stapes foot plate is 3.2 mm square. The effective area ratio is 14:1. Thus, by focusing sound pressure from larger area of the tympanic membrane to the smaller area of the oval window, the effectiveness of energy transfers between air to fluid of cochlea is increased. The oval window vibration sets up fluid thrill in the parallel of the cochlear scala vestibuli and then to the scala tympani. The scala tympani pushes the round window outward into the middle ear. All these movements can cause pressure waves in the endolum inside the cochlear duct. We are talking about the cochlear duct or membrane of cochlea. The pressure fluctuations of the endolum thrills the basilar membrane of the cochlear duct slightly, which in turn moves the hair cells of the spiral organ against the tectorial membrane. In this picture, you can see the scala vestibuli, scala media, then scala tympani, the organ of Corti, which rests on the basilar membrane. Then there is the image, we can see the tectorial membrane, which is attached to the hair cells. Then there is a vestibulocochlear nerve, then the basilar membrane. The bending of the microvilli produces the receptor potentials that ultimately lead to the generation of nerve impulses in the cochlear nerve fibers. There is a picture, we can see the tectorial membrane, the inner hair cells, outer hair cells, basilar fibers, spiral ganglion, then cochlear nerve through with the vibrational spirit boom. The different frequencies of the sound waves cause specific regions of the basilar membrane to vibrate more. The membrane near the base closer to the oval window is narrower and stiffer and moves with high frequency sounds. Near the apex, the membrane is wider and more flexible, more responsible to low frequency sounds. What is the basilar membrane? Basilar membrane separates the scala media from the scala tympani. The length of the basilar membrane increases progressively from the oval window to the apex. At the near the oval window, it is 0.04 mm, and at the helicotrema, it is 0.5 mm. Means 12-fold increase is there. The diameter of the basilar fibers decrease from oval window to the helicotrema. The stiff short fibers near the oval window vibrate best at very high frequency, while long limber fibers near the tip of cochlea vibrate best at a lower frequency. So these are the images we can see. It is a base. On the left side, you can see base that is narrow and stiff towards the apex, which is wide and flexible. There are different frequencies. The high pitch can be heard near the base, then there are low pitch near the apex. So low frequency sounds are heard best at the apex region. Okay. The sound waves moves hair cells that convert mechanical force into the electrical potential, that is the receptor signals as follows. The movement of hair cells back and forth causes opening of the ion channels in the microvilli. You can see this image, okay? That will make you understand it in a better way. These are the resting potential of the hair cells, top links. At this time, the cations, especially the potassium calcium ions, move from the endolymph into the hair cell cytoplasm. This causes the depolarization of the receptor potential. This triggers the exocytosis of the synaptic vesicles containing the neurotransmitter GABA. GABA, the gamma aminobutyric acid. This is the image given here. How there will be depolarization. Okay. After sufficient depolarization, the microvilli move in the opposite direction to close the ion gates to cause the repolarization. Then the cochlear branch of the auditory nerve conducts auditory impulses to the cochlear nuclei in the medulla oblongata. That is central auditory pathway from the cochlear nuclei to the superior olfactory complex, then to the nucleus of lateral lemniscus, then inferior colliculus, and medial geniculate body, and the auditory cortex, that is the central auditory pathway. Here the fibers cross over and extend to the midbrain and terminates in thalamus. From thalamus, the signals project to the primary auditory area 41 and 42 in the temporal bone of the cerebral cortex. So these are given the primary auditory cortex and the temporal bone mentioned here with the sketch pen. So here complete the physiology of hearing.